one, ignition.
What you know about this life? Yeah. Just relax, baby, get high. Yeah, you're on your way to the best night ever. No top on it, no top. Out with the stars.
Greetings, Best Night Ever League. It is Cam, your reigning league champion, here with Week 10 recap. Let's go ahead and go over these matchups real quick from last week. Very important shit, and some very exciting stuff. Mostly some big wins I see, as far as point differential. But got highlighted by Connor and Jacobs matchup, which was very exciting, very down to the wire. But we'll get to that. First matchup, we have myself versus Michael. Not a lot to be seen here. My running backs were terrible. Fuck the Falcons. Patterson only gave 5 carries. They give carries to like 5 different guys, and Marcus Mariota sucks so bad that he just fucks everybody up, including Kyle Pitts. That was my main downfall. Plus, Kamara didn't do anything for me, and Cortland Sutton with an amazing game for him, 9.6. That's just terrific. Michael's team didn't do anything great, but his best players carried him to an easy victory against my lackluster team. Tua's looking pretty good this year. I wish he was, but whatever. Anywho, next matchup, we've got Andrew versus Finn. Andrew really needed this one. This makes the playoff race just that more interesting. But we'll see how it shakes out. Andrew doesn't have Trevor Lawrence, who's been pretty damn decent this year. Yeah, hasn't been the best QB, but he's looking pretty fantasy viable this year. But not. It's definitely a low week. But if Eckler would have gone off, he would have been all right. But Hopkins has been huge for him. I think Andrew's going to be okay. But Finn gets a big win, and who knows if Finley keeps winning, if Justin Fields keeps popping off, and the sky's the limit for Finley. He'd be a sneaky one to land in the playoffs. So that seems very unlikely, sitting at 4-6. But fuck, man, who knows? Next, this was the exciting one, going right down the wire on fucking Monday night. As a fan, you love to see that exciting matchup. But of course, being on the losing end is never fun. Honestly, Jalen Waddle just cucked him. Just missed. It's a lackluster game. For him to not get 10 points is pretty wild. And ETN, of course, kind of fucked him. But hey, Dameon Pierce, one fumble loss, one fucking game loss. That's the way this shit goes. Same with Chubb. You hate to see it. That's just terrible. But it's the way the ball bounces. You're unfortunate to have to play each other this week, but that's the cruel bitch of fantasy football. Connor gets an absolute huge win, keeping his playoff hopes alive, looking good in that 4 spot. Then we've got Bobby versus Thomas. Yeah, props to Thomas, he outscored me this week. So he wasn't the worst team this week. James Conner had a heck of a game, but just wasn't quite enough to overcome Bobby. Bobby had an average week for him. I would love to have 148 points, but for him it's just whatever. Josh Allen played like dog shit, still gets 20 points, so that's just how fucking good he is. Although I wish he could fucking do a quarterback sneak, which is bullshit. But that's fucking way she goes. Who's really good? Stephon Diggs. He's the fucking man. Also, Justin Jefferson is very good. I feel compelled to say that. I really wish he would have caught that 4th down with one hand. It was incredible, but fuck, that was disappointing. But that's the wild thing about the NFL and about football. You never know how shit's gonna go. It's a wild ride, but it was a lot of fun to watch. That was week 10, and the standings, as you see, Bob's looking pretty cozy at the top. I would be shocked if he would have to lose out. I still think he would make the playoffs. It's just I don't see Andrew, Finley, or myself being able to, basically, or I could only get 7. Finley and I could only get 7. Anywho, I think Bobby's sitting cozy, but the rest of the seeding, and Andrew's looking, he's in the hunt. He plays me this week, so he has a pretty solid chance. Like, I traded away my top running backs to get some picks. I still have decent running backs, so I feel pretty good about it. But I'm in let's try not to get last mode. But who knows? Maybe some luck will fall my way. I just need Ja'Marr Chase back ultimately. Anywho, got some hopefully fun stuff for you. I did some digging into a couple things. First thing, so I wanted to look at everybody's keeper situation. First, I like to see just how is it shaking out. We're getting close to the trade deadline and close to the playoffs, so like, are people's keepers set? Are people going to need to maybe make some moves to really get a full 4 spots that they actually like? Perfect example, my own team. I got 3 guys. I got Burrow, Chase, and Swift. But good God, my 4 spot is very much up for debate. Kill myself if I take Kyle Pitts. Even though, who knows? Maybe he'll have an actual quarterback playing instead of Jackass. Maybe Ramondre Stevenson, but he's a Patriots running back. You don't fucking keep a Patriots running back. That seems absolutely insane, even though he's been incredibly consistent this year. Trade for literally anybody is the most likely scenario. So we'll see who I deem worthy to be kept on my team. But the truth is, the last couple of years I've basically had 3 keepers anyway. This year it was Trey Lance, who got hurt after 1 fucking game. And last year I had Josh Jacobs, who never even saw my starting lineup. So fuck it. Maybe I'll just go with 3. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. Looking at Bobby's team, the only for sure, unless he finally accepts one of my ungodly trades, he's keeping Josh Allen. But then everybody else I feel like is up for debate. He has a ton of good players. It's like, but Tawn Diggs, old receiver, does he want to keep him? He's on a big contract, so it's not like he has to worry about that. It's like, and Diggs will be good next year, but I don't know. Does he keep A.J. Brown? He can have for 3 more years. He's much younger. On a rising team, A.J. Brown would be decent. Fucking Aaron Jones. I would keep him, but that's a testament to my depth. He's like 27 years old on the Packers. I don't know. Josh Jacobs probably won't be on the Raiders next year. Who even knows what his situation is going to be like? And then he's got Devontae Adams, who, he's 30, about. If you keep Josh Allen, you can't keep Devontae Adams. So he's got some decisions to make, but it's not a terrible spot to be in. Looking at Connor, speaking of some decisions to make, he's got Lamar Jackson on a big contract still. He's got Kenneth Walker, who's a steal, and he's on a big contract. But what's he going to do with the rest of his shitheads? He's got Jalen Hurts, who I think is the decision. He keeps Hurts on a 1-year contract, but then you got to trade Jonathan Taylor. So I think it's all about who can you get value for Jonathan Taylor. He's been hurt all season, and the Colts are a dumpster fire, but he had a shitload of points last week. So if you can get value for Taylor, keeps Hurts, or maybe gets a shitload of value for Hurts, keeps JT. Who knows? Probably going to keep Derrick Henry again, just because as long as he's healthy and on the field, he's the best. Travis Kelce, he's got on another year, so he could keep him and his 1-year guys. He doesn't have to redshirt Kelce. Kamara, I thought Connor was the one who ended up trading for Alvin Kamara. He didn't need that fucking guy. But Kamara, who knows how long he'll be suspended for, so he's certainly likely to be available in the draft this year. Looking at Nick Finley's keeper situation, his keeper situation has fluctuated a lot this season. So now he's got Kyler on a big contract, he's got Tyreek Hill on a 1 year. Then I think he chooses 2 of Debo, Mixon, and Fields. I think at this point Justin Fields has shown enough to be like, fuck it, why not keep him if you're deciding between other guys? And it's like, between Mixon and Debo, it's like, do you trust that Debo is gonna be as good as he was last year, or do do you keep? I think honestly, Debo and Mixon are kind of in the same, like, second to third tier of their position of like pretty good, but not, especially going forward. Like at least Debo's young, Mixon's getting kind of old for a running back, but not a bad spot to be in to choose between those guys. Looking at Michael's keepers, he's got Russ on an expiring contract. He's got Dalvin Cook, who is not expired because he traded for him. But if he keeps Russ, he's got to get rid of Saquon. He could keep Aaron Rodgers. I accidentally left off Tua. He should, if he doesn't trade him, he should definitely keep Tua. I know he keeps acting like he's going to trade him, but it's like, at this point, it's like, I think Tua's going to at least be good as long as they've got those two fucking receivers. It's like, I don't know. It's cheat code. You could throw any asshole in there and do pretty decent, but as long as Tua is that asshole, not bad to have him around. But then you got like Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's like you don't really want to keep a receiver on the Lions, but he's great. I underestimated him this season. I really wish I would have drafted him, but fucking way she goes. I drafted shitheads like DJ Moore and Terry McLaurin. They fucking blow. I mean, they're really good, but their teams suck. But whatever. Then what's he gonna do with Cooper Kupp? I don't know. So Michael's got some decisions to make. See what kind of value he gets for Saquon before the old trade deadline, or he might need him to make the playoffs. Who knows? But Michael's probably sitting pretty easy. Jacob, he's got Mahomes. He's got Deshaun Watson. I don't think he's going to move off of either of those two guys, and he's got Justin Jefferson. So really, he's actually in the most interesting spot because now he has those three running backs: Dameon Pierce, Nick Chubb, Travis Etienne. Where it's like traded second round pick for Pierce, but now Etienne is like really fucking good, and he's the dude on that team. So it's like, what are you going to do with that guy? You going to keep Pierce and Etienne? Well, then you can't keep Mahomes, Watson, and Jefferson. It's like, and I threw Jalen Waddle in there because Jalen Waddle's pretty fucking good. And if he's playing with Tua, then he's going to continue to be solid. Like, pretty solid guy. I mean, I would take Waddle. And then Nick Chubb's just sitting there like, sorry, I'm just the best fucking running back in the league. And there's really just no room for him on an expired contract. So, kind of the way she goes. And last, looking at wait a minute. How about Andrew's fucking team? God damn it. We'll talk about it. Sorry. Sorry, this is very last minute. Maybe. But Thomas, he's done a lot of shifting around. So he's got Breece Hall, he's got Justin Herbert, he's got Mark Andrews, and he's the second saddest fourth and final keeper situation other than myself, because he's got, does he keep Najee Harris and blow his brains out? Does he take a flyer on Brian Robinson? Does he go T. Higgins just because he's a solid receiver? Or does he say fucking go either Geno or Kirk Cousins? I mean, it's not the best spot to be in, but we'll see how it shakes out for him. Fucking Andrew, sorry man. I think he's got Trevor Lawrence, he's got Austin Eckler, he's got Christian McCaffrey, and he's got Javonte Williams. I mean, what are you gonna do? I feel like we've seen guys get hurt and then come back. It's like I feel like they take a little bit of time to get going, but toward like the later part of the season, I feel like they ramp it up. Kind of like look at Travis Etienne this year, you know. So I think Javonte Williams still a viable keeper. Should be decent next year. So I think Andrew's kind of set, unless he wants to try to get some value from those running backs, but he's kind of got his guys. All right, I'm about to run out of time in my old screen recording thingy, so I gotta go. Stay tuned for part 2 for a last little bit. All right, welcome back. Part 2. Last little thing I did for you. I thought it'd be fun to go through the last 4 seasons, everything on Sleeper, to kind of make every team's all-time lineup. So I did this based on each season and their season average for points per game. So this might look a little wonky. Please forgive me if I fucked any of these players up as far as like who's on what team, because Sleeper is a little weird. Like if you're looking in 2022, it's like, and then you change the year of the stats for a different year, it still says, oh, like this person is on this person's team, even though that could be wrong for that year. Try to get it right, whatever. But let's go through some of these teams. So my team, a lot of 2021, which should not be a surprise, just because that was my one golden year. Every other year I've been mediocre to bad. So we got Joe Burrow this year, though, coming in at 22.3 points per game, which is pretty sweet. Really wish it's gone down a little since Jamar Chase has been out, but Burrow has been solid this year. Can't complain. Then throw back to Tom Brady in 2020, averaging 21 points per game, which is I do miss those times. I have not had a second quarterback that averaged that many points in a very long time. Then looking at 2020, Alvin Kamara, 22.8 points per game. He would kick ass. That was the year he. I don't think this includes that. I think this is only regular season, but where he the Christmas Day game, 6 touchdowns, no big. Joe Mixon last year, 17.1, and just he was solid all year. No giant 56-point games, but he was great. Devontae Adams, 2021. Jamar Chase this year. God, I hope he comes back soon. Mark Andrews, 2021. That was the year to get that tight end. Very, very good. Then 2019, throw back to Saquon Barkley, 17.6 points per game. Too bad the rest of my team was shit, but Saquon was good. Looking at Connor's team. Also, this is a good point in time to be like, you can have multiple, instances of the same player. So that's why you'll see Derrick Henry 2021. That should be one of these is this year. Probably this one. We're gonna change that. So this year's Derrick Henry and last year's Derrick Henry. He's just so good. Derrick Henry is all over this sheet. Like he's on, I think maybe three teams like all time list. But Lamar Jackson, that is 27. Jesus Christ, King. This is his MVP season. He kicked ass. Jonathan Taylor's breakout year last year. Connor's 2021 and 2021 is all over this too. Jonathan Taylor, Cooper Kupp, Debo, Derrick Henry, then Travis Kelce's all-time tight end. It's pretty interesting going through all these and just seeing like some of the crazy seasons people had. Like even Tom Brady, 2021 for Michael. And it's interesting seeing like what teams have had like the best quarterbacks. It kind of makes sense, I guess. Where like mine, it's like I'm always streaming like a second quarterback, and kind of same thing with Michael. Like Kirk Cousins, 18.8. That's pretty solid. It's just not MVP like Lamar, but Tom Brady, 23 points per game is pretty damn good. Saquon this year has been great, 19.6 points. CMC in 2020. So this one is kind of iffy because he only played 3 games that season, but in every game he played in, he was just fucking electric. So I had to put it on here. Tyreek Hill in 2020, averaging almost 20 points. Stephon Diggs, first year in the Bills, 17.9, pretty dang good. Tight end was interesting for everybody. It was kind of like, okay, who could you manage to get at any given year if you didn't have a breakout guy? And Hawkinson's been pretty solid the last few weeks, but he's had a 2022 tight end kind of year, if you know what I mean. And then I threw in Cooper Kupp this year just because he played a few games for Michael before he got hurt, and also had a very good season. Bobby, he's had his QBs. Dak Prescott in 2020 was absurd. I think that was the year he got hurt, but he played like half a season, and he kicked ass. He was doing really well. Josh Allen, he's so consistent. It's like he was close to 26 like every single year, but this year is just his highest average, so I took that. CMC in 2019, after 27 points, he's just insane. Josh Jacobs this year, he's all or nothing. He's either a shitload of points or nothing. Stephon Diggs this year is kicking ass. Devontae Adams this year. Bob's got a very solid team. Then George Kittle, I don't think he played necessarily the whole year, but averaged a modest 12.1 points. And then Leonard Fournette, 16. Not the highest flex relative to a lot of people, but Fournette was pretty solid last year. Had some huge weeks. Jacobs his team is the funniest because it has so few players. Because the same guys just keep kicking ass. Like Pat Mahomes, he's got 27 and 26 averaging that. He's just insane. And then Dalvin Cook, he was insane in 2020, 24 points. I didn't realize he was so damn good. Justin Jefferson has been his two best wide receivers. Darren Waller, 2020, huge in that championship year. Nick Chubb's been great this year. So, looking at Finley's team, and I originally had Finley / Nick Hill, but all the best all-time performances are from Nick Finley's team. So, shout out to Finley. Aaron Rodgers, MVP season. Russell Wilson in 2020 had a good season. Nick Chubb, 2020. A lot of 2020 from Nick Finn here. Back behind Travis Kelce, Tyreek Hill. Good to see Calvin Ridley making an appearance. And I couldn't help myself. I had to include Joe Mixon in his Week 9 performance. I didn't look up the exact number, but I know he had about 56 points. So it's a pretty epic all-time performance. Then Mike Evans squeaked in here. It was hard to find the best flex option for Finn, but a modest 14.5 points in 2021. And looking at Thomas, the quarterback duo that is no longer. Kyler Murray in 2020 had a big year, and Justin Herbert 2021. Then Aaron Jones and Zeke. 2019 was Thomas's year. Aaron Jones, Zeke, Chris Godwin. This was average. Goddamn it. 2019. A lot of 2019. That glorious championship year for Thomas. It was huge. A lot of huge performances. Basically, Chris Godwin's breakout year. Michael Thomas record-breaking year. Tyler Higbee. He was solid. He tied in on a championship-winning roster. I tell you what. And then Andrews was also very fun. Because looking back at Andrew, his best quarterbacks: Drew Brees 2019, 21.4 points, pretty good. And Ryan Tannehill 2020, 21.2. Like those are decent scores. You just love to see. Of course, Andrew has Drew Brees and Ryan Tannehill, and then you see Derrick Henry again. Every year, like since 2020, Derrick Henry's just been fucking unstoppable. That had to have been the year where the Titans just realized, like, why aren't we giving this guy the ball every fucking time? We'll just run him into the ground. But other than that, a lot of this year, which is makes sense. It's been Andrew's biggest year thus far. So he's got Eckler, Hopkins, and Goddard from this year. He's got Eckler a couple times because he's been hot, and then Mike Evans from all the way back in 2019. It was fun going back, looking at all the kind of all-time performances, I hope you enjoyed kind of taking a little trip down memory lane, seeing what your best players have done for you in the past. Lastly, we'll just real quick. I know this is going really long. Look over just this week's matchup. Me versus Andrew. Big matchup for Andrew. If I win, it's kind of like fucking whatever. But for Andrew, he's got to win. He's got to keep pace with Connor. Connor plays Thomas this week, so he better hope that he has some good plays this week. Because my team is sneaky. Looking at next matchup, Michael versus Finley. Already started. I guess this is Thursday, so we see Aaron Rodgers actually getting a good start. But I think this one's going to be close. I mean, fuck. If Michael wins, he's putting himself in a very good position. But if he loses, then it's kind of opening the floodgates for all of us other shitheads. And then we've got Bobby and Jacob. If Jacob wins, he's going to be sitting pretty. But Bobby's kind of like, man, whatever fucking happens, doesn't matter. I think Bobby's got some decent matchups going forward too, so I think he's sitting okay. Connor just gotta close it out against Derrick Henry, so good. Just gotta close out the season. This matchup couldn't have come at a better time for you. I will probably see you win and probably see you go 6-5 and really gonna stir some things up in the old playoff race. So we'll see how it all shakes out. You never know how this shit's gonna go, but it's been good talking to you. And good luck this week.